We are required to perform the manufacturing process, the process step and distribution of work among members to make a turbine blade. Process that will involve is cutting, lathe, milling, drilling, grinding, and welding. Advanced manufacturing technique and quality control process are essential to produce blade capable to withstand the demanding condition. The material provided is the mild steel. First, we get a drawing and dimension of each part that we need to fabricate. The items given are one cylinder and two plate metal. First, let's get started with measuring and marking our material using the vernier caliper to get precise dimension. Next, grab the ruler to draw a straight line because in this project, everything has to stay in line. Now, for any circle or arcs, I'm using the graving wing compass. The tool will know the point. And finally, marking everything clearly with chalk. It's quick, easy and mess up. Now it's time to cut the metal using the hand saw. First, make sure the metal is clamped properly so it doesn't move around. That's important for safety to get the straight cut. Then put line up the saw with the sharp mark to make it yielder and start sawing slowly. At first, it's a bit tiring, but once you get the right rhythm, it gets easy. I just keep the stroke steady and try not to rush. It takes some time, but in the end, the cut is clean and neat. Now that the cutting done, moving on the milling process. First, secure the metal piece properly on the machine table using a vise and make sure it doesn't move while cutting. Then, set the right cutter and adjust the speed and feed setting based on the material. Once everything ready, turn on the milling machine and slowly move the table so the cutter follows the marked line. Keep my focus steady to get the smooth, even surface. It's kinda cool to see how the machine shapes the metal so precisely. After a few passes, the surface looks clean and flat. Milling done.
Before turning the square metal bar into a round shaft, start with a center drilling. Mark the middle of the bar using the ruler and center punch. Then drill a small hole right at the center using the drill press. This hole is important to support the bar with a live center with its mount on the lathe so it spins smoothly. Move on to the next part, which is drilling a hole for a screw. Mark the spot. Use the center punch again and drill straight down using the appropriate drill bit size. This hole can later be tapped to make thread inside hollow. Now, going to use the lathe machine to turn a shaft. First, mount the metal rod securely in the shaft and make sure in center properly. That's important to get an even cut. Then, choose the right cutting tool at the set speed and fit based on the material. So next, put the square bar on the lathe. One end is clamped in the shaft, and the other is supported with a live center at the tailstock. The setup keeps it stable while spinning. Since the bar is still square, start with facing the end to make it flat and smooth. Then begin the turning process, slowly removing material from each side. Transform the square shape into a circle. Use light cuts and frets to avoid vibration and gradually increase the depth of cut as the shape becomes rounded. Check the diameter regularly with a vernier caliper to make sure get the right size. Bit by bit is grown from square to a perfect circle.
Now it's time for the assembly process where all the parts comes together. For the parts that need to be removable or adjustable, use screws. Align the holes properly, insert the screws and tighten them with a screwdriver. Make sure everything is secure but not over tightened. For permanent joint, use small welding, set up the workpiece, check the angles and start welding using the right electrode and current setting. As the arc strike, move steadily along the joint to get a strong and clean weld. Once done, let it cool down, then clean off any slack. The combination of screws and welding gives the structure both flexibility and strength. Now for the final step, grinding. After assembly, there are some rough edges, weld beads, and uneven surface that need to be cleaned up. Use a grinder to smooth out the welded joints and sharpen any edges that looks uneven. Make sure to wear a safety goggles and gloves since parts can fly during the grinding process. Move the grinder steadily across the surface, not pressing too hard, just enough to get a clean and smooth finish. It really makes the project look more professional and safe to handle. Once everything is nice and smooth, wipe it down and that's it. That's the whole process. Project is done and ready to go.
Problem faced and how to overcome. First is problem with rod cutting. The error happened because incorrect setting of the size to be discharged. To overcome this issue, we redo it using a new rod with the correct size. Next is hand tap stuck in the screw thread. To overcome this issue, we redrill the part where the hand trap are stuck. Next is aluminium alloy milling broken. Aluminium alloy milling breaks due to strong pressure during the cutting process. So, we operate the milling process slowly and cut with the thickness of 0.5 mm continuously. Next is blade cannot enter the trench. To overcome this issue, we redo the blade using the milling process from excess material. Lastly is the steel rod is not tightened properly on the lathe machine, causing a damage to the steel rod. To overcome this issue, retie it properly and remove any damage of steel wood.